question to Kevin.
Kevin, one of the least understood aspects of Obamacare is how it seeks to hijack state finances in order to expand insurance coverage, particularly in the area of Medicaid. And one of the areas that attempted to do it by doubling income eligibility. That's the aspect of the recent Supreme Court decision that said it's optional to the states. Could you tell us whether or not New Hampshire should take up that option and expand its population? As part of your answer, could you tell us where you think Medicaid is going in New Hampshire, and how New Hampshire is going to finally be able to protect itself and its sovereignty from the federal government trying to push its overspending down onto New Hampshire?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm against the Medicaid expansion as part of Obamacare. You know, the legislature just recently passed manage Medicaid in our state. And so we're finally going to be able to put a system in place where we can manage our Medicaid dollars better, make it a better service delivery system, and make it more cost efficient as well. Expanding the Medicaid under Obamacare would simply blow the whole thing up. And I am telling you that if we were forced to expand Medicaid in our state, this would break the bank of our entire state. And it's amazing to me that the federal government has dangled the carrot by saying, well, we're going to pay for 100% of it the first 3 years and only ratchet it down to 90% by the year 2020. This coming from the same government that's racked up a $15 trillion debt, and the same government that told us back in 1975 when they passed IDEA that they were going to pay for 40% of special ed funding. You know what the government's share of special ed funding has been over the last 30 years? 17%. Nowhere even close. So if anybody thinks for a minute that they're going to actually pay 100% of the expanded Medicaid costs in the state, I've got a tropical island off the Isle of Shoals to sell you. I mean, you have to be completely gullible to enter into that kind of deal. So absolutely not. I would opt New Hampshire out of the Medicaid expansion. You know, the state of New Hampshire has enjoyed a good state-federal partnership over the years on Medicaid. We've got to continue to be able to do that and allow our managed Medicaid system to be implemented, to go forward, and manage it here from a state level. The other thing, too, is that I'd be all in favor of having the federal government blockade those Medicaid monies that we're currently getting to the state, because again, I believe as a state we can much better manage our funds than have it being done by some bureaucrat down in Washington.
Ronald Reagan often reminded people that conservatism is not an ideology. Conservatism is about experience. It's what life experience teaches us about how things should be and how they work best. It's that experience that I answer this question the speaker was posed. I've practiced law in the last 14 years, focusing primarily on healthcare. I don't speak to this issue in theory. I speak to this issue because I know it and work with it. I will tell you right now, I've already taken the position that New Hampshire should not participate in this hijacking of Medicaid by the federal government on Obamacare. We should be doing specific things I've already talked about. We should be seeking the maintenance of effort requirement, a waiver from that requirement under existing Medicaid. And then we should be demanding that the federal government block grant the delta that they would propose to pay us for participating in the expanded Medicaid program and designing our own New Hampshire solution to providing coverage for more lives, premium support, and then changing our healthcare delivery system so we have a risk-based approach to healthcare. I speak to you from experience. I'm the only candidate for governor who has this experience. Finally, when it comes up to standing up to the federal government, I am the only candidate who led a department, an agency of this state, and said no to federal dollars when I led the fight against Goals 2000 in the mid-90s. And some of you will remember it was very much like this. The federal government offered us a little bit of carrot, a few dollars, and said, let us get more control over your schools. And our state, under my leadership, was the only state to say no. And I bear the scars for that, and I'll take those scars with me to fight for you and this state under this issue. We should not participate.
Grok TV.